Welcome to another Demarcation Media action figure review. Today we're going to be looking at the Marvel Legends Ant-Man from the Cull Obsidian Build-A-Figure wave. So here's the box. I could probably go through all the different art on the box and how all the figures are on there, but, I don't really care about the box, so I'm just gonna throw that aside. For accessories, first one is the Build-A-Figure piece. Let's zoom in so you can see that a little better. So now you can see it a little better. Nice detailing. It actually looks pretty realistic, like slimy scales. Some bits of armor on there. But unless you plan on buying all 6 figures in this wave, this is kind of useless, and it's just a severed leg. I personally don't plan on buying all the figures, so I'm going to have to figure out something else to do with this giant leg. And it is giant. It's almost as tall as the figure itself. So the Build-A-Figure is probably huge. Next accessory is the unmasked Scott Lang head. And wow, it looks really good. And really creepy with no body because it looks so real. The face, just like everything is perfect. It looks like Paul Rudd head. The weird smirk, the little faint like 5 o'clock shadow. It just is really good. This is one of the best Marvel Legends heads that I've seen. Yeah, this is a great accessory. I'll show you how it fits onto Ant-Man in just a minute. But first, let's go take a look at the figure. So here's the figure himself. And just looking at it, it looks great. The suit has a bunch of texturing. There's a ton of paint all the way around, even on the back. And it's all pretty crisp as well. Just by look, it's a good figure. There are a few problems, but first, let's just get in a little closer so you can see all the different texturing and paint, and so you can appreciate that a little bit more. So there you go. You can see how there's this kind of rough texture here. Kind of goes onto the arms, gives like almost a cloth look. There's like the silver, I don't know what those are, like neck joints. Goes around the back. Very nice. Very nice. Lots of paint. Lots of paint. There's a belt. The belt can kind of shift a little bit, so you can move it around if it's not quite in a position you like. More paint. Look at that. It's all so clean, too. There's no, major, weird spots or whatever. So, yeah, paintwork, excellent. Excellent. So first problem while we're up this close. The whole figure is made of a very soft plastic. Softer than my other Marvel Legends figures. So that results in stuff like this. Yeah. This came out of the package with this antenna really bent. I sort of got it back into position, but not really. And his arm, you can see it's a little bent. When I got it out of the package, it was really bent. It was bent to the point of being creepy, and it took a lot of work to get it looking decent. And that's not really something I want to see on a figure that I just pull out of the box and see his arm bent in a very wrong direction. The soft plastic also makes some of the joints pretty loose, like the shoulder. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, it's very loose. You can see it's like kind of click joint, so in between certain clicks it can just kind of flop a little bit. So yeah, I don't really like that, which it's kind of makes this figure right off the bat mixed bag, because it looks great, but then you have these problems right out of the box with like bent limbs and loose joints. So keep that in mind as we go through the articulation. So other than the loose joints, there's only kind of one other, I guess you could call it a problem with the articulation, and that's the kind of ab crunch. That's the limit forward. That's the limit backward. So it's fairly limited, more limited than most Marvel Legends figures, but in my opinion, that's not as much of a problem because, you know, Ant-Man is Ant-Man. He's not Spider-Man, so he doesn't need to be doing too many crazy acrobatic poses. So that's only a minor issue. So for the arms, you can get them. Yeah, it's another problem I forgot to mention. At least on my figure, the shoulders were and are very, very, very stiff and hard to work with. So like with shoulder swivel, it's pretty loose, but then, you know, hinging it up and down is very, very hard. But yeah, you can get them out about that far. Bring them down. And you can get a full 360, both arms. And they can bend about that much. You have the bicep swivel. The hands can move around and do pretty much whatever you want them to do. There are no extra hands, so I don't know if you can even pull these hands off. I haven't tried it. I probably won't try it. Other arm is pretty much the same, except this time it has like a gripping hand. We got a waist swivel all the way around. You saw the ab crunch. Legs can go out pretty much straight, so that's good. The knees are also fairly stiff. That's about as far as you can get. The feet go forward a decent bit and back a decent bit, so that's nice. And oh yeah, now you can see the belt kind of slipping around. There's no real backward motion for the legs unless it's by the knees. And then there's the swivel here. And that's pretty stiff, but that needs to be stiff. And then the head can swivel around, you know, a full 360. And it can move up and down some, but it's very stiff, and the helmet kind of limits the movement some, but it's not bad. While we're here, let's pop that off. There's the helmet. We can put the unmasked head on. Looks really good. Really, really good. Let's pop that off and put back the helmet. So yeah, articulation is pretty good. Just again, there's problems with some joints being too tight, some joints being too loose, soft plastic. So it's a mixed bag, but I can recommend this figure for sure. He looks great. He works really well for photography. He's fun to play around with. You know, just stick him on your kitchen counter or something and take a picture. You just keep in mind that there are some issues. He retails for $20. That's kind of his base price. But I know Amazon and probably some other places brought the price down. I actually got him for $10, which I can definitely recommend him at that price. Even with all the issues, don't pay any more than $20 for this guy though. Unless you're buying the whole wave and you're going to get the whole Build-A-Figure, then maybe paying a little bit more might be worth it. So bottom line is, this is a good figure with some issues that you just have to be aware of when purchasing him. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.